Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Olight Universe channel. Today we have a special guest. Josh is with us. He will be doing 3 different knife reviews for part 1, and in part 2 he will be doing 3 more knife reviews. So I am going to be in the background and he is going to take over. Welcome.
Hi there, everybody. Like he introduced me, I'm Josh. I have several years of hands-on knife experience. I was the owner and operator of my own custom crafts and knife business and have done whetstone knife sharpening for hundreds and hundreds of clients for the better part of 8 years now. Um, as far as Olight and Oknife products are concerned, I've been nothing but impressed. Right, I'm here to talk about the knives today. I'm going to be starting with this is actually the Splint. Got it on the incorrect box here. But a few key points about this knife. It's an N690, which, thank you, is comparable to VG10 if you're familiar. It's been around a little bit longer. N690, I feel like, has been on the rise recently. I personally do like this steel. It doesn't classify as what I would call a super steel or anything of like superior significance. However, it does hold its own in an EDC environment. If you're using it for everyday normal tasks, you're really not going to see much negatives out of it. It holds a good edge and it is great for a variety of applications, seeing as it's stainless. Now, this piece here does have a G10 micarta handle. It is sanded down nice and smooth. So it has a really nice feel in the hand. It's not overly textured, but at the same time, it's not so slick that you're going to lose your grip on it, which is something I like for an EDC. It looks really nice with the gray and blue. So not only will this be effective and functional, it's also going to, complement your outfit if you're into that sort of thing. One thing I do like about Oknives is their product design. It really does lend itself to the applications they put at hand. Now, here we have a nice thin spine, which complements the clip point that they put on this really well. Flat grind all the way down to the bevel. So this is going to be great for slicing, piercing applications, light duty work, cutting through corrugate, tape, cloths, the like. This was their flagship for quite some time, and I could definitely see why. The action on these Oknives, no matter which action they do put on them, is always nice and smooth from what I've seen. This here flipper action is really nice. It just feels right. It's not too loose. It's not too tight. And the ball bearings they put in these actions really do perform. The lock mechanism is actually the internal bar lock here that you've probably seen on a lot of pocket knives. And all in all, the weight and blade length of this, as you can see here, as advertised, I believe it's 2.97 inches. As you can see right there, right on the money. It's a great pick. I can definitely see why it's been their flagship for so long.
Do you know anything about the Rockwell hardness test? Is that something you know about?
Yes, actually, Rockwell hardness test is basically just the means in which they go about testing the hardness of steels. Now, this one sits at approximately 58 plus or minus 2, which is pretty high. I think 58 is a good place to sit. One of the issues with having a Rockwell hardness that is too high, it can sometimes lend to more brittle steel. Now, the harder a knife is, generally, the sharper you will be able to get it, and the better edge you're going to get off of it. However, you often have to trade hardness for strength in steels, with some exceptions like LMAX and other super steels out there, such as M390, etc. Um, I think 58 is a great spot. You really don't need anything much harder than that unless you really need to retain an edge for a long period of time.
All right, this one they come with coins. So this is the Splint coin. It's just something that Olight does.
I think it's a nice touch,
Yeah.
personally.
And then inside the box, they'll have a storage bag. It's a black storage bag, a cleaning cloth, and the user manual. So pretty nice. How about, you want to move on to this one?
Yeah, let's move on to the Beagle.
Okay.
This here, the Beagle, Really nice knife. As far as the blade geometry is concerned, I tend to lean towards carrying something a little bit more like the Splint. But it is in a 154 cm, which is a great steel. I mean, you're getting into borderline super steel here. And as far as the price point, I think it's actually marketed for only $6 more than the Splint is.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that 154 cm with it. Now, the difference you're going to see between these two steels is this blade edge is going to last longer. The retention on this steel is great, and despite having a little bit more of a hardness, uh, and it doesn't lend to being particularly difficult to sharpen. Now, I've sharpened pretty much every steel you can think of, just about. And like M4, for an example, it's a tool steel. Everybody talks about it being a total nightmare to sharpen. You won't see that with 154 cm. It does have a G10 handle here. It is really textured, but it's not an obnoxious texturing. It's actually, it feels really nice in the hand, and when you're holding on to it, you really don't feel like it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
This is the one you carry?
Actually, the one I carry, I'll set this down. I have right here. This is actually the Drever. This is what I carry around. I use it for cutting corrugate all the time. It's goes through box after box after box. And something I haven't touched up on is out of the box, these knives do come with a nice factory edge. I can be so picky about manufacturers' factory edges out of the box. I mean, Buck, Gerber, Winchester, all that stuff, I often find myself disappointed. But these O knives come out sharp, and I mean, I'm talking like Spyderco level factory edges. Like professionals know what they're doing. And as far as I'm aware, O knife. How long has O knife been in the game?
A few
A
years.
few
Yeah,
years.
it's probably 5 years, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
half a decade. I
Yeah.
mean, they really hit the ground running here as far as putting out products that are worth a while. Here, this one is obviously built for a little bit more of heavier duty. This I would carry as an EDC if you work maybe like on a farm or you're out actually using this to break down wood or kindling and stuff like that. This bolstered drop point they have here does lend to being able to pierce without worrying about breaking your tip. It's going to be a little bit more structurally sound. The spine on this one is a little bit thicker than on the Splint here, but it isn't obnoxious. It's not something that is going to take away from its ability to cut through large pieces of material, which I like. Again, all around, I'd carry it. I'd recommend it to a friend for sure.
It comes with a coin as well. It's upside down. It'll say Beagle on the top there.
Nice.
Nice touch.
Oh yeah.
Right? And this one, same with this one. The coin, the holder, the instructions in the box. Very nice. They package things very well.
Yeah, it's an overall good presentation.
Just like the lights, yeah.
Next up here, we have the Borzoi. I believe that's being pronounced correctly. Now, knives aren't just for functionality. I like to think that they can also complement your outfit and be a part of your aesthetic. This here is definitely an example of that. Now, I think it looks really sleek. They call it the gentleman's knife, I believe, is what they advertised it as. And I could definitely see that. It's easy to carry. You could fit this in a blazer, have it accentuate your look if you actually clip it on the outside. The black and blue looks really clean, but functionally speaking, even seeing that it's designed more for aesthetics than maybe the other two examples we've been showing today, I see no issues with this. I mean, it's got a nice thin spine. It's very subtle drop point. The flat grind going all the way down to the bevel really lends itself to being able to slice, pierce. I mean, you could definitely work your way through an apple with this thing, no problem.
It says stonewashed. What is that?
Stonewashed is going to be this here, or what it actually, this blade texture or the finish that they have on it is called a stonewash. It's like a subtle matte gray.
Okay.
Is what that's going to be there. And I personally do like the stonewash. I think that it looks classy and it lends itself to the overall look they're going for here. They're trying to achieve.
This is the knife I carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got an integral lock, so the actual bar lock on this knife here is part of the frame. So it's integrated into the frame of the knife, which I actually think is a nice look.
I like
really.
the width of it.
Oh yeah, it's so slim,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of times with a lot of companies, like I mentioned earlier, Buck, Gerber, Winchester, some others, you probably think of them. They build their knives so bulky. Like, here, let me open this here for you. The spines on them are just, I mean, we're talking about we're nearing a quarter inch on them even, and when you're actually using a knife every day for tasks like you would EDC, um, those spines are really more of a hindrance than anything. Like the thicker the back of the knife is, the harder it is to push through any material you're trying to cut through. So if you're not using a knife for really heavy tasks like chopping wood, breaking twigs, cutting through stuff that might have nails in it, you really don't need a thick spine if you're not worried about breaking your knife. This is it's a uh, really nice thickness that I'd like to see on
And G10,
EDCs.
what is G10? Can you describe that for us? What does that mean?
G10 is like a composite material that is used for a lot of knife handles. It's great because it's lightweight. It can be textured and worked to like form many different sorts of handles, from smooth to stippled to striations, you name it. It's also very durable. G10 is notoriously difficult to break, especially for how light it is. It's inexpensive. It's really a great pick. Now, I personally love G10 micarta handles. This is when they layer sheets of G10 with resin. That way, whenever you grind it away, it actually reveals neat little patterns we can see in this splint here.
Yeah.
You can see the patterns inside of this G10 micarta. And this G10 micarta here is even more durable than just normal G10. It's extremely durable stuff. You'd have a hard time. You'd have to take a hammer to it if you really wanted to break it. So all in all, I think Oknives are really up in their game in the knife world. They're phenomenal products. They come out with great factory edges. They have innovative designs that match the functionality that they were designed for. Um, and really a solid pick at the price point that they're put up for. I mean, finding 154 cm for under $70 in an actual good, well-designed knife that fits its purpose is hard to find, and Oknife provided.
And Borzoi is what, $59.95. Comes with a storage bag, cleaning cloth, and user manual. This knife here, the Borzoi, is only on obuy.com. It's their sister camping site. So not on Olight, on obuy.com. These you can find on olight.com. Or Techno Toys on eBay. He has all of these. So if you want to check those links out under my description in my channel, both are there. So this is part one, right? Are we done? Part one?
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up.
So part one is these three. We're going to do three more in part two. So stay tuned for those. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what other knives you want us to review. All right, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Good. All right, we'll see you next video.